44 Magnum. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the barren hills still of Tennessee, the home of Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Davy Crockett, all sorts of people who have had their homes here. Okay, maybe not born here. I always get it for for that, claiming people who were not born here. I'm sorry. It's still the home, or a home, of these people I mentioned. Okay, so anyway, welcome to another Sunday shoot around. Yeah, 115. Yeah, 115. Long time, 115 times out here. Well, and of course, I only started these a couple of years ago, but still 115 weeks, you know, consecutive weeks. So those are the best weeks, the ones that follow one another, right? So I'm glad you're here again. It's a little chilly again. Yeah, winter's not over. It will be eventually. So I'm willing to bear it because it's not 20 degrees or anything. It's just chilly. And I can handle a little while out here just to talk to my favorite people, favorite viewers, the ones who come out on Sunday morning. Get up early so you don't miss this, right? So glad you're here. You notice what I have out. I'm sorry, had it out this week for something, and I just got to shoot it, you know. The old 29, 8 3/8. If you're really new and are not familiar with this, I bought this in 1974. I think I've had it out on a Sunday before, maybe twice, I don't know, out of 115 times. It certainly comes to mind, and I just wanted to shoot. I might plink another 9 today a little bit, but I don't know. I just got to shoot it. This is its 48th year that I've owned it, and hope I make it to 50th, really. If I make it to the 50th year, if I can keep breathing another couple of years, man, I'm going to have to plan a big celebration for this firearm, right? It deserves it. We did one, what was it, 40 years? 30, 40, I don't know. We brought out a cake, all that corny stuff. I think I shot the cake, didn't I? But anyway, 50 years, a long time to own a firearm, period. And to own one, well, 50 years is a long time to be alive for some people. A lot of people don't live 50 years, right? And I am very fortunate that I have not only lived for 50 years, I have lived long enough to purchase that revolver as an adult, semi-adult. I'm not sure anybody's an adult in their 20s, sorry, no offense. But, and then have it and shoot it for 50, almost 50 years. Okay, we won't jump the gun, no pun intended, but still pretty cool. Still shoots great. Yeah, I know. I was doing just a hike. I just headed out to hike around with this week, and posted on Instagram. Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. I sometimes post a picture on there. It's the real Hickok 45, you know, on Instagram, and post a picture if I've got something out I'm plinking with, and just like I do before Sunday morning, whenever I do these, whatever day of the week it is, or the weather's decent, whatever, I'll take a picture, and then I try to remember to post that picture on Saturday of what's coming up on the Sunday shoot around, that kind of thing. What I'm in the mood to shoot. All right, so here I am, here you are. Gosh, let's shoot and talk about a little bit. Tough times of course, in Ukraine and everything. I've seen a lot of posts on, gosh, all over the internet, of course, even comments made on our channel, different things about who the bad guys are, who the good guys are, and everybody's at fault and all these sorts of things. And I don't doubt it. I don't know all the politics, the geopolitics of the situation, haven't followed it that closely. All I know that, I mean, it's not always clear who the bad guys are, right? Sometimes it is. We know who some of the bad guys are, usually pretty obviously. But I do know when I see it, people suffering. I see innocent people suffering, whether they're in wherever they might be, Mexico, the United States, Russia, Ukraine, Uganda, Ethiopia, it doesn't matter where. There's a lot of suffering, in the world, and a lot of, I started to say needless death. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but it really is. Needless torment, and it's usually the powers that be, right? The politicians or whoever's in power. I don't know if there's a dictator, a politician. A dictator doesn't have to be much of a politician, does he? So the poor people are the ones who suffer in those countries. I bet none of them have a Second Amendment. Just a guess, But so yeah, I mean, it just rips your heart out, doesn't it? And then of course we all have to be logical and not get ourselves into a nuclear exchange, because our heart is thumping and being ripped out. And that's tough. That's tough. So anyway, it's sad that we take for granted, and as I've talked about, you all know, in this country, we take for granted what our founders did. Yes, our founding fathers, like it or not, like them or not, they're genius. They were not perfect, just like you are not, and I'm not. But they were geniuses when it came to constructing a constitution and setting up a country. And I mean, in my opinion, maybe the best so far, with all of its imperfections and theirs. We just, gosh, we are so fortunate. No matter how lousy we think it is run sometimes, right? Like right now, maybe. But wow, we still elect our politicians, right? We determine who stays in office and how long. A lot of us, I vote, but a lot of people don't vote, and they don't have enough say, and they don't get their say-so there and that kind of thing. But in their states and places where voting doesn't seem to help because you got overwhelmingly one party in control and all that, I understand that. But I tell you what, we're still in control. There are so many countries where they don't have control, obviously, right? So it's sad, really, really sad. So I hope you've been enjoying the week, seen some of the videos, the slam fire shotgun video. I'm really good at slam firing a shotgun, right? Actually, I'm better, I think, than that video I displayed. I didn't practice even for that video. I don't know. I was just really pathetic. That gun, I think, Ithaca is harder to do it with, maybe, because it's so light than the Model 12 or the Model 97. I mean, I know I've done that with those guns. But anyway, I wasn't trying to make it look worse than it is. In John's Rambo knife video, he really likes that series, and that knife is some knife, no doubt about it. But people that help us out, Ballistol and Talon Grips, that we're so lucky, just really are. I went to see John last night. He was hosting at Zany's, and he did a good job. He was funny. People thought he was funny, not just me, So that was fun. He's going to host another couple of times in March, and I don't know the exact dates. But anyway, can I shoot this thing again? Or the yak too long? This gun, man, I mean, it just fits me like a glove. I mean, in 48 years, you ought to either you bought it because it fits so well, or you have grown into it, right? Okay. Yeah, it's that long barrel and everything. It's just a great shooter. Let's knock some bowling pins over. Yeah. I was trying to shoot through that target. I'm gonna still try to do that. Ricochet. Let me shoot the top of it. All right. How about the turkey? All right. I don't know if y'all can even tell that's a turkey over there. That's what it is. It's a hanging turkey. Do I have another round for the gong? Always one for the gong. Yeah, all the other turkeys I have are on stand. They stand, but that one has a hole in it, and it doesn't have a stand. It's for hanging. It's kind of neat. I might buy another one of those sometime for the main range. Don't know. By the way, we're on the Gong Club range. It's people every time we come over here, whether it's a Sunday video or anything. So, what happened to all your target? Where'd you move around? What'd you do? But they're new people, of course. Don't get just like the people that come in here and get mad because I'm talking. Disclaimer: I need to start with that, don't I? This is a kind of a vlog shooting video. It's Sunday shoot around, yak around a little bit. I mean, 115 of them. Come on, guys, figure it out. All right. But I'm going to try to talk a little less, I'll shoot more, talk about the guns a little bit more, touch on a few things. This is kind of one reason I do them, sorry. Find a little shooting with gabbing. We do a few shooting videos, if you've noticed, where we don't talk about anything except the firearms. But, cool, I'll shoot some factory ammo here, I think, next. Show them a real man. Got people still calling me skinny because I've lost some weight intentionally. If you missed last week's show, it was funny. I used to, when I was teaching English, I would talk a lot about the connotations of words and how important that is, and choosing the words you want. And sometimes the connotations of a word make the word better for whatever you're writing. If you're writing creatively a poem or something, that's really, really important. And any time a word has meaning beyond its dictionary definition, what it brings to mind, the connotations of it. And you have lots of words for the same thing, right? Like powder room, restroom, bathroom, toilet, whatever. We all have euphemisms for a lot of things like that, right? Resting place, funeral, resting place, cemetery, graveyard. Some sound more harsh than others, but anyway, connotations of words matter. But anyway, I always think about when I hear someone use the word skinny, it's most often used, if you notice, by somebody who is overweight. It's that simple. Because you have words like, because it's a little bit negative, I don't know, maybe if you're female especially, you would love to be considered skinny, I don't know. But words like slender or slim or fit or whatever kind of imply somebody is not overweight. What are some others? Trim, I don't know. Not that I'm looking for compliments. I couldn't really care less on that. I'm just glad I was able to lose some weight, and I'm still going to lose a little more. But anyway, it's interesting. I've noticed this my entire life. It's not because of a comment or two. It's my entire life I've noticed. And I'm sorry, I pick on you women, females. They will call somebody skinny. I mean, how many times have you been out somewhere and a really attractive lady, someone who is very trim and fit, okay, gorgeous, whatever. But other folks, women, will call them, she's so skinny, right? Yeah, well, yeah, maybe, whatever you want to call it, because that's a little bit negative. It kind of takes some of the fault away from them for being overweight or whatever, okay? Sorry, women, sorry, gals, I don't mean to pick on you. We guys are the same way, I just haven't noticed it as much, okay? But it's interesting, and yes, I'm trying to get slim, and I'm not my weight targets. I don't know what it is on the scale, what it's going to be. I'm close. It's I just gauge it by my belt in my belly. you know, and whatever fats on my belly or sides. That's what I gauge it on. Okay, I haven't lost any muscle, whatever I have, if I have any muscle. I haven't lost any of that at all. My brain, I think, is still the same size. May not work as well, but I don't, you know, so I'm losing that, and it's gradually going down. So, yeah, when I gets down, I don't know, a little more, it's okay, good. I'm not going to start packing away, you know, junk food again or anything, but at least I'll know where my ideal weight kind of is. I don't care what the doctors say, what the books say, or what the height ratios say. I know whether I'm overweight or not. We all know that, right? So, can I shoot this again? I'm going to shoot some Magnums. Magnums, 44 Magnum. If you're brand new, this is a 44 Magnum. It's going to hurt a little bit because it's chilly today and things hurt more when it's cold. Well, let's put a mat. Hope it doesn't blow. I'm going to stand back so I don't blow the target over. Ooh, right in the same hole. Ooh, so accurate. Let's blow a 2-liter with these Magnums. How about another one? Does the job. Now, did you notice that that 2-liter, you saw the angle I hit it at, the 2-liter went directly laterally about, I don't know, maybe about 20 feet at least. Okay, that's just keep that in mind. That's for a quiz later. Oh man, you see the wood fly out of that bowling pin? It was already shot up, so let's kill a hog with this Magnum round. Whew, oh, that's, I think, a good place to hit it, right there in the shoulder. I'm gonna go over there and pop the gong with one of these. Boom, got him. Accurate revolver, always has been since my first shots. So anyway, I just brought that up. I brought that up in videos occasionally when I'll shoot a 2-liter and it actually comes back at us. I won't get graphic. I'll just say, think Kennedy assassination, okay? Everybody is so sure about certain things involved in that. But when you've had some experience with ballistics, you know, some things that seem logical and make no sense, make a little better sense once you've had some experience with firearms. As I said a week or two ago, when you've shot as many things as I have shot, as many, not living things, but as many things as I've shot with as many different bullets and rifle rounds, pistol rounds, hot rounds, weak rounds, lead rounds, hollow, all that kind of thing, you do get a sense of what things can do and how erratic it can be, especially if it's filled with fluid and that sort of thing. A lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? And some of you are just a little perplexed, okay? I do perplex people at times. I still see occasionally somebody will, what was that video? Oh yeah, it was the high point video. The first one we did, only one, well, the first one we did, we've done 2 or 3. But where I mentioned how the owner of the gun shop in Clarksville that lent me one of those high points, and he's a veteran, how he got special permission to carry a high point in Iraq, you know, and he carried it through Iraq. And I said it was a straight face, and there's still people fall for that, right? Like anybody would do that. Like anybody would try to do that, and then like it would be approved, you know. So I've been called a liar a few times on that one, or he's been called a liar. He didn't do it. I just made that up. So it's funny. It's funny. I'm always testing gullibility. I'm sorry, it's what I do. Did I talk about the shotgun? There's so much shooting and videos. I'm losing track of whether I talked about that or not. But in the video, well, I mentioned, you know, we did the whole slam fire video because of this, to some extent, because of that little short we did with my 590. But the five, also in that short YouTube Shorts video in the 5.9. I might have talked about this last week. You know, I had some of the short shells and made a stupid joke about, since it's a YouTube short, let's use short shells. That was just a lame attempt at humor. And I loaded 3 and then I shot, 10 or something probably. But that really wasn't supposed to be the joke. If you haven't seen that short, it's posted on the channel. You may have seen it come up on your phone. What's it called? Oh yeah, Get a Shotgun. That's what it's called, Get a Shotgun. That's the name of the video, the short. And most of you know that allusion, that reference. But I was going to shoot, I shot shorts. I had them out, was doing something. Let's just do a short, do a video, and do a short, and we'll keep shooting these. We're doing something else with them, and as we often do in starting a video, that's all that was. That wasn't even meant to be funny, and I think people think that was this big prank. In that short was loading 3 very clearly, 3 rounds, and then shooting 8 or 10, and that was like supposed to bumfuddle people and confuse them and perplex them, and that was like the big joke of that short. That was the prank we were pulling on everybody, and they had to try to figure that one out or something. That wasn't even on our mind. That wasn't any kind of a joke. I mean, that's just something we do often. If we're starting it, well, like today, I had this loaded already, but if it were regular video, I might have been loading the last round or 2. If I was going to start a video shooting, okay, we do that all the time. I don't know, what, like a lever gun. Maybe we want to show you the loading of it because that's always cool, especially if you're new or not new. And so I've got the magazine on the lever gun loaded with 8 or 9. And as the video opens, I might be shoving in another one or 2 and just introducing a video, and then we shoot or something. It's mainly because it would just get a little boring maybe if I have a lever gun that would hold 13 rounds or 15 rounds, and I keep loading it, and you're starting the video. There's no need to do that. You're going to see me load it. The next time I load it, you're going to get all the loading you want to see. Okay, so a little inside baseball, just get the video going a little sooner, but still, show you loading. Do that all the time, that sort of thing. Maybe in a close-up even, just like with this revolver. As it opens, I might have 2 or 3 or 4 rounds in it, and then they'll just be loading the last couple and start to get. That's just what we do. So that really wasn't part of the joke. It wasn't meant to be a joke, but I think it's new people or new to shooting. I make comments like, how do you shoot that many times with 3 rounds? So they just assumed it was unloaded or something, or whatever they see you put in, it's all it can have, or I guess. But anyway, just clarify that. I didn't want any of you to lose sleep at night over that, right? So anything else? Oh, speaking of your comments, I found one. This guy said I thought it was so good. I should give these people a shout out when they say stupid things. We get a lot of stupid things, of course. I don't pick on them that way. They're already sad enough sometimes. No, but this was a neat comment. This guy said he was 68, and he's talking about the old days, how people back in our childhood valued modesty and that kind of thing, and it wasn't cool. It just wasn't cool to be cocky or egotistical. He said that sure has changed, and society has suffered. He said knowledge and character take a back seat to style and swagger. And that last line is what I really like. He said knowledge and character take a back seat to style and swagger, these days. And I thought, boy, that's so true, isn't it? So many people just want to, they're focused on the shallow side of life, just style, fashion, or whatever, and acting tough, rather than actually having real character and worth to themselves, integrity and that kind of thing, and knowledge, So I like that comment. So anyway, I gotta shoot again. It's my gun. I want to shoot some more. I spent all winter reloading. Well, not all winter, but I did load a lot of ammo, I have to say. Oh man, am I ever forgetting to remind you all of anything? I don't know, probably will. Okay. 6 shots. See those big bullets, 40. You know what? Yeah, I did bring some specials. I may shoot some 44 special as well. Okay. Barrel on this gun is 8 3/8 inches long. A lot of people think this was the Dirty Harry gun, and I understand it was possibly used for a poster or something, some of the promotions of it to make the barrel look longer, because it is longer, like almost 2 inches than the 6.5 inch one they mainly carried. But I don't think it was that. I didn't notice in any of the scenes, and I've seen those movies a lot, and I know an 8 3/8 inch barrel when I see it. Now I know in his hand, he's a big guy, pretty big, but an 8 3/8 inch barrel, it shows up. It's long, okay? It's obvious. All right. I think I hit a red plate over there. Yeah, I hit it with a rifle, so I ought to be able to hit it with this. Hit that propane tank. Killed him. Barely had room to shoot him through there. I'm going to roll or rock this pin right here. Look at that sawdust coming out of him. Like sawdust. Oh man. All right, do I have any advice? It's getting cold again. I need some advice out here to young people. Oh man, what advice do I have? How about, gosh, I got ammo lying all over the place. Can't see anything. Young people, don't get the idea you're too smart too soon. Because you could end up an old dummy like me and not even realize it. But, you know, Alexander Pope said that a little learning is a dangerous thing. I think those were almost the exact words, and it goes on. Drink deep or not from the Pierian Spring or something like that. But a little learning is a dangerous thing. You've probably been there, I've been there, you know people. Once they get into something and know a little bit about it, they think they're the expert, right? And they make mistakes, and because they think they know everything, and they don't. A little learning can be very dangerous on a topic. So my advice to young people is be aware of that. Just be aware of that. As you get older, then you do become more aware of that, of the tendencies that we all have, and that you have specifically, I have specifically. You know, we learn more about ourselves. And we need to be aware of ourselves, you know, how we are, how we can be, mistakes we have made in the past, let's not repeat them, that sort of thing. Just study deeply. If there's something you're interested in, really study deeply, figure out what the conventional wisdom on it is, what the traditional approach is, what most people seem to think about something, the consensus on something. And then really look at that, look at the specific people that seem to take that viewpoint, and what do you think of them? And then look for alternative viewpoints, and what do you think of those people? Who has an agenda? You know, if there's a couple of ways of looking at something, everybody has some kind of agenda. Look at what the agendas are of these folks. How are they making their money? Are they getting a career by thinking the way they think? Is that what is providing their income? Their income is determined by their point of view on something, okay? Their very career relies on taking the conventional, traditional path on something, but yet it might not be the smartest route or thinking on a topic or whatever. You know what I'm getting at? Maybe there's lots of areas like that. I listened to a guy, his name is, I'll give him a shout out, Rob Berger, B-E-R-G-E-R. Now he may be a gun hater, I don't know, he may hate me if he's ever seen me, probably not. He's a financial guy, does kind of live stream YouTube videos. And that's his username, Rob Berger. And he's a great guy. Even if he hates me, I love him. I think he's great. And was listening to his most recent video this morning. But he made a comment about how, like for example, in the financial world, that and I may misquote it. It was something. This was in a video he'd done before earlier, but he said, you know, something about the whole financial world industry depends on complexity and active trading. Okay, kind of like that. The careers of these people even exist really because of that, the complexity and the active trading. And if you've ever been confused about finance or about what to invest in or what you should do or getting financial advice and what kind of funds you should look at and who you should go to and all that kind of thing, just it's really smart to keep that in mind, that the whole complexity of it doesn't have to be that complex. It's really not that hard. I mean, so many tests and studies have shown, I mean, throwing darts at the wall, that stocks or funds almost get you to the same point. Not quite, but active trading, it relies on. Have you heard these commercials, for example, and I know this is about finance and investment, but it relates to everything. Doctors, big pharma, you name it. You've seen me heard these commercials from some financial company, and it may be a small one in your town. You know, say if you have, you know, they're trying to help you with your retirement money or your investments, whatever. If you have as much as or as little as or whatever, if you have 200,000 in savings or investments, come and see us. We'll help you. If you have that money, they'll give an amount quite often. And you know, back when I was a little more naive, I wondered, what's that about? Why can I come pay you for some advice? You know, my doctor, my dentist doesn't say, come see me if you have at least 43 cavities. You know, or you know what? Yeah. Well, duh. There are some people who you go pay them and they'll give you advice by the hour, right? Which is my preference. But they're also, most of them, they will charge you like a % or more on your money to manage it. That's what they want. You need to have enough money to make it worth their while, because they're going to take about a % of that in fees at least, you know, per year. So if you have $1 million and you just go, yeah, I need some help. I don't understand all this stuff, mutual funds or index funds. I don't understand. I got to talk to somebody. They're going to do this for me, and they'll charge you, you know, for the advice and everything else, but they're going to take a % probably or more per year from your $1 million, which is what, $10,000 a year. You're going to pay them $10,000 a year out of whatever that might grow, you know, and to manage it. You know, when in my opinion, you don't need that. But I'm not a financial advisor, disclaimer. So anyway, be aware, and active traders, and some people, young people, gosh, this falls under young people advice, I know. It seems so cool to be buying this stock or selling that stock or whatever it is. It could be Bitcoin or gold or silver or anything. You really need to think through that. Think about what you're doing, especially with stocks, because unless you're a day trader, trading and selling and buying, oh my gosh, and especially through a broker and everything, all the fees associated with that, even mutual funds, the fees, the built-in fees that you don't even realize. It's hard to even figure out sometimes what the actual fees are going to be in the charges, but it's significant. So anyway, that's why a lot of people do it on their own and, you know, passive investing. But anyway, such a great truth that he spoke there, that that entire industry basically depends on making investing seem complex and talking about this stock and that stock and that stuff all the time. Like, you got a chance to make a lot of money on this stock, sell it, buy it, whatever. That and active trading. So anyway, enough on that. Healthcare industry is kind of the same way, though. You know, we've learned a lot about that in the last couple of years, haven't we? Yep, we sure have. They spend all their time treating symptoms instead of getting at the core, the root of the problem, which is usually just exercise and health and diet, right? And because there's so much money to be made. I may be assassinated over this discussion. There's so much money to be made in the financial industry from those fees by managing your money for you and keeping you trading and in and out of this fund because of this one's lower, higher. Oh my gosh, the transaction fees and all that. And then just the fee for managing your money. There's so much money to be made in that, so it behooves them to the whole industry to make it look like that's necessary. That's real important, okay? Y'all are too dumb to handle this on your own. And in the medical world, I think there's a little money to be made from the pharmaceuticals. You think? Yeah. So that drives everything. We don't want healthy people. We can't sell them drugs, right? I sound cynical, but I'm really not. You know me. So just things to think about. That all falls under young people. And I highly recommend you get out and shoot your guns and not think about it too much. But yeah, the conventional wisdom on a lot of things. I've always been a little unconventional and have not trusted the conventional wisdom on a lot of things. I grew up in the 60s, you know. I wasn't a hippie, but, you know, I grew up in the 60s, you know. And we kind of cut our teeth on questioning things. But I don't know, it's worse than I thought. We thought it was bad back then, some people did. I didn't realize how it could become. All right, let's shoot. All right. Oh, wow, what a group. Had to bring it up a little bit just to get rid of that group. Nice. Wow. That's the thing about this. I mean, hitting in the same spot, I can't keep from it. I'm not even trying. It's just so shootable. Yeah, the long barrel, the feel of it, I don't know. And of course, I've shot it a little bit, right? I have fired this thing a few times. You know, I keep saying 75,000 rounds. I'm probably now I've begun to say like 75 or 80,000. I don't track it as closely as I once did, but you know, that's a lot of rounds, and I'm proud of every one of them. And as I've said before, now I don't. You probably know I'm not the kind of person that counts all my rounds over the years or anything. I told this before a time or two over the years that the reason I got the numbers fairly close was I used to count the primers because they're mostly hand loads, and I would save the primer packs, and I wasn't loading and shooting that many different guns, and I had big stacks of primers from loading the 44 rounds and big stacks of I saved the primer containers, you know, the little square, well, they're different size depending on who you buy, but the little, well, what would you call it? It's the container for the primers. Each one holds 100. And I would even use them if I needed a little extension under a chair or a table leg or something. They're just handy. But I got to where I'd put them in a garbage bag, was saving them. I might use those for something, maybe something creative, I don't know. I ended up with huge bags of them, you know, and I would count them at times and all that. So, or I'd count them once, I don't know. But I knew basically how many I had loaded and fired when I got up into the 65 and 70,000 range over the years. And now that I have more firearms, I don't shoot it as much as I used to, of course, right? And I know one thing else I was going to do is carry my Glock 43X. And I have some Federal already loaded into it, just range ammo. So I'll shoot it because I've got the Shield Arms magazine. So I'm trying to shoot it at least once a week, just like I'm trying to shoot the P365 XL, you know, once a week because I had that light strike in a video. But I noticed in that light strike, I didn't realize it or remember it. I saw someone commented about it. They thought the slide wasn't closed. I went back and looked at that video. I couldn't tell. That slide looked, I don't know, it looked fully forward to me, but you couldn't really tell that closely. But it was on the first shot. You know, after I had reloaded, I'd loaded the gun and went over there to shoot. I'd forgotten about that. So some ways that makes me feel a little better. I might have, I don't know, when I may have kind of limp wristed the rack in the slide, or maybe it wasn't totally closed. It wasn't after a shot. I don't know. I don't know why that makes me feel better. Maybe it shouldn't. So, do I have one in? Yes, I do. Wow, bullseye with that too. It's accurate. Yep, okay. That was some of that Syntec, 150 grain. Feels good. I like that pistol. I might load that and shoot that again. I don't know. Except I don't want to keep y'all too long. Oh man. Lordy. Well, I don't know. Giving too much advice today. I apologize. Got to shoot this again though before I let you go. Always full of advice. Got to watch people who are full of advice. They're usually full of it, right? But it's one of my tasks. It's something I owe young people, right? Give them some advice, whether it's lame or not, okay? You just never get enough advice. Let's try to shoot. Let's shoot some, let's wrap up with some factory loads, okay, just to make sure you know I'm a man, okay? This barrel actually at this length does tame the recoil pretty well. Something to remember. If you're going to buy a Magnum, something really hot, especially if it's a range gun, you know, why do you need something really hot or really short? I heard something fall. If it's a range gun, it's just for the range. So let's take a couple shots of this baby. Blow that 2 liter out of there. Man. 44 Magnum. Whatever gets hit knows it's been hit, right? It's just that simple. Just that simple. Whatever you shoot, it gets its attention. So like I was saying, sorry for all the advice. Don't pay any attention to me. Remember, I am not a financial advisor or otherwise. I'm just a guy hanging out in the woods with his guns. But I've lived a little while, so you know, maybe it's worth a little bit. You know, I don't know about you all, but I have a pretty good, I don't know, nose antenna for things, and there are people that I listen to, watch, or whatever, that I think I get some pretty good advice from at times, but other times maybe not, or things I think are worthwhile, and some things that are not. You know, it kind of falls under that. So I hope you do that with me. You think I'm a real idiot on a topic, okay, he's an idiot on that topic, but on another topic he's not. As I've talked about before, I try not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You know, the old saying. There are some of what I would consider almost my foes or my enemies, you know, politically. And it could be anybody. It could be politicians. It could be entertainers. It could be YouTubers. It could be gun people. It could be anybody. People that maybe I don't care for, but I pick up something valuable from them at times, you know. And there might likewise be some people that I really, really like, but then. And most of what I hear them say or see them do, I really, really like. But some of it I don't at all. You know, I don't reject, and a lot of people maybe are not like this. You know, if you don't agree with them, or they don't agree with you in terms of your politics or religion or even your Second Amendment stance or something at all, then you just totally shut them out, totally from your existence. Anything they have to say, you totally ignore it. I understand that. I never have done that, really. I don't think ever. I think probably because of the confusion I've grown up with in terms of that. I grew up, again, in the 60s. And, and then as an English major, and when I think of all the creative people that I have really revered and enjoyed, liked, worshipped, no, but just really, whether it's Emerson, Thoreau, Walt Whitman, just different people. I can name them all day, of course, writers and entertainers, musicians, Bob Dylan. I could name them all day long. You could too. And as you're growing up, you're hearing things about them. And then as you get more savvy politically, or you start cementing your politics or whatever, and you realize, wow, oh man, one of my favorite artists doesn't agree with me, or I don't agree with him or her at all. He says idiotic things, and there's different stuff. Do you still listen to them? Do you lose respect for them? Where do you put that? So that's always an issue, for all of us. It's an issue for all of us. We deal with it, isn't it? So I'm not big on just boycotting them totally. Kind of depends. There are a few that they're just so contrary to anything I stand for that I can't really, watch them maybe. There's some politicians like that. I can't even, because that's all I know about them. For one thing, they don't have anything to offer other than what they can do for the country, politically in their office as a congressperson or a president or whoever they might be, whatever position they might hold. There's nothing else they have to offer me. They don't play guitar beautifully, They don't have a beautiful voice like Bob Dylan, so they're not a great acrobat or anything like that, so they don't have anything else to offer me. So sorry, I just can't stand to see your face maybe. But when it comes to an artist, people who have actually something to offer, it becomes more problematic, doesn't it? Somebody's music that you just really like, have always liked, you've got all their albums, maybe. And then you realize they come out, they're speaking against your favorite cause or your favorite politician or political stance or whatever, and it just, oh no, you hate to hear it, don't you? That's why we hate to see those people even come out politically, We just wish they wouldn't do it. And especially, think about your top 5, your favorite artists in the world or whoever it is, Maybe you like country music, maybe it's Dolly Parton or just whoever. And they're likable people, whoever it might be. But, you happen to see them interviewed, and they're giving their views on politics, and you just want to, oh no, don't tell me that. I didn't want to hear that, So it's we've all been there, I know. And what I was getting at is, we hate it, but they've got, they got a right to do it. We wish they'd just shut up and sing, right? Like you wish I'd shut up and shoot. But they've got the right to do it, And but we've got the right to turn them off, right? The right not to like them, not to buy their music or whatever. So, but it is, we do hate to hear it, There are artists that I was so glad, Tom Petty, for example. I've always liked Tom Petty, and I know it went. Now he may have expressed his views somewhere else. I didn't know about it, but he may disagree with me on a million things. But I remember he was asked to get involved. What was it? I don't know. 5, 6, 8, I don't remember when it was, which political election, whether it was the Obama election or Trump election. I don't know how far it goes back, not more than 10 years, I don't think. But they asked him about his political views somewhere, and he said, nobody cares what I had to say, I'm just a guitar player, or something like that. I thought, bully for you, Tom, bully for you. I wish all musicians, would do that. Although, as I said, I understand, you got just as much right to express your views as I do, or any of us, do. So, man, I have expounded too much. Maybe I'll just shoot next week. Yeah, that'd be a relief, wouldn't it? So anyway, all the guns worked. My knife works. It's always loaded, and I'm ready. So I'll see y'all next week, and I really do appreciate y'all coming by. And on the Sundays, we have a bigger crowd some Sundays than others. Don't know why, but I really appreciate y'all that came by. And we'll be posting some videos this week. Guess what? Shooting, guns. So if you are offended by firearms like this one, you'd better not tune in. Oh man, an old friend, 48 years. Life is good.